I want to share something with you. It's not easy, but it's so real. My story is marked by fear, by trauma, by scars that trace back to my childhood. It's also marked by healing, by peace, and by a home that finally became the refuge that I always longed for. When I was little, home wasn't safe. My father's anger, it filled the house like a storm. I grew up walking on eggshells, never knowing what might set him off. The smallest word, the smallest sound, sometimes just existing in the wrong moment, it brought his wrath. I learned to stay quiet, to stay small, invisible, to stay out of the way. It just wasn't enough. Safety wasn't something that I could count on. And that unpredictability, that waiting for the blow that you couldn't see coming, was its own kind of terror. And then came the losses, the dogs, one by one. I'd give them names, loved them, held them close, only to watch them taken from me in ways no child should ever have to see. I can still picture the clumps of dog hair trailing down the basement steps. I can still hear it, the sound of the belt, the cries of the dog, and then the silence. After that day, I never saw the dog again. They weren't just pets. They were my family, my comfort, my safe place in a house that felt unsafe. Losing them, it broke something inside me. Eventually, I stopped giving them names at all because I knew they would not be here for long. That's not something a child should ever have to know, but I knew. By the time I was 10, I was already carrying fear nobody else could see. And then one night, that fear grew deeper. My mother's boyfriend came into my room uninvited, and in one moment, my innocence, gone. That violation, it left wounds that I carried for years. It twisted how I saw safety, robbed me of trust. It planted the lie that even in my most private space, I was not safe. I carried that into my adulthood. I buried it, but it never really left. Then years later, it came crashing back. One night, I woke up and there he was, an intruder, standing over me wearing a hockey mask. It was my worst nightmare come alive. My body froze. My breath stopped. I couldn't move. I could not scream. In that instant, my home, the place that should have been my refuge, it became the stage for my deepest fear. After that, nothing was the same. Every wall felt heavy. Every creak in the floor made me jump. Every flicker of light in the hallway felt like a threat. Fear moved in with me. and it refused to leave. But fear doesn't just stay in your walls. It moves into your body. It camps out in your chest. It steals your breath, and soon it was all that I knew. Depression swallowed me. Anxiety owned me. I was in and out of mental hospitals looking for help, often finding more hurt. Cold rooms, locked doors, the clink of keys in the hallway. Straps that held me when I was already broken. Treated like a problem, not a person. Those moments left scars. They also left reminders. I survived them. I was stronger than even I knew. Then came another season. The father of my youngest child, his presence was short, but the damage, it was so lasting. There were nights when he allowed his friends into our home. Nights of cruelty, so dark, I still struggled to put them into words. I was bound, silenced, stripped of dignity, treated as if I were less than human. Those nights could have destroyed me, but they did not, because even in that darkness, something in me held on. Something in me whispered, "This is not the end of your story." And it wasn't. I had 3 toddlers. I was pregnant with my 4th, and I chose to run. That was strength. That was courage. That was love fighting back. We ended up in a shelter for women of domestic abuse. It was not glamorous. It was not easy. The walls were bare. The rooms echoed with stories of brokenness, but it was safe. And for the first time in years, I could finally breathe. I could sleep. I could protect my children. Still, the trauma followed me. Years later, I was working full-time, punching the clock, forcing smiles, holding down a job while slipping in and out of mental hospitals, pretending to be fine while completely breaking inside. Until one day, I could not pretend anymore. The weight of everything I had buried, it just became too much. So I shut out the world. I locked myself inside my own home. At first, I told myself it was protection. The truth is, I built a prison. Days became weeks. Weeks became months. Months became years. I did not leave. I stayed inside, hoping the walls would keep me safe. But really, they only kept me trapped. Then life forced me out again, and I came back to an empty house, starting over again and again and again, each time heavier, each time harder, each time wondering, can I even rebuild? But the truth is, I did. Every time I rebuilt, every time I rose. Healing didn't come fast. It never does. It came slow. It came quiet. It came through the smallest routines. For me, it began in the kitchen. The first time I baked cookies after everything, my hands trembled. I wasn't even sure I could do it, but I mixed the butter and sugar anyway. I cracked the eggs, stirred in the chocolate chips. I scooped the dough onto the tray and slid it into the oven. And then I waited. As the minutes passed, the smell filled the house. That warm, sweet scent crept into every corner. And for the first time in years, my house smelled like home. Not fear, not trauma, not despair. It smelled like healing, one tray at a time. Those cookies, they were not just cookies, they were proof. Proof that I could still create something good. Proof that fear did not win. Proof that joy could live here again. So I baked more. Cookies, pies, cobblers, bread, each one a victory, each one a declaration. This house belongs to peace, not panic. Homemaking, it became my healing. Folding laundry wasn't just clothes, it was care. Sweeping floors, it wasn't just dust, it was reclaiming my ground. Lighting candles, it wasn't just ambience, it was declaring light over darkness. Gratitude became my anchor. When fear whispered, "What if?" I answered with, "What is?" Right now, I have a roof over my head. Right now, I have food on my table. And right now, I am safe. Gratitude didn't erase my past, but it shifted me forward, softened my fear, and it reminded me of my strength. Slowly, my home changed. Silence became restful. The hum of the refrigerator became a comfort, not a threat. The creak of floorboards, it reminded me of life moving, not danger waiting. Walls that once carried fear began to hold laughter again. Rooms that felt like cages became refuge. And I finally realized something. Home doesn't have to be perfect to be sacred. It doesn't have to impress anyone. What makes a home a refuge is the love, the gratitude, the strength you pour into it day by day. Once my home was my prison. Today, my home is my freedom. It's where I bake cookies. It's where I light candles. It's where I breathe and remember how far that I have come. My home, it's no longer where fear lives. It's where peace lives. And if you're listening, if your home feels heavy, if trauma has stolen your peace, I want you to know this. You are not beyond healing. Yes, I was a little girl walking on eggshells. Yes, I lost the pets I loved, hearing the sound of the belt, cries of the dog, and then the silence that followed. Yes, I was 10 when my mother's boyfriend came into my room. Yes, I woke up to an intruder in a mask. I was strapped down in hospitals. Yes, I was abused forced to flee with toddlers while pregnant, and even locked myself away for years. But I'm also this, a woman who found healing, a woman who chose gratitude, a woman who reclaimed her home as a place of peace. And if it happened for me, it can happen for you. Peace may not come overnight, and healing may not be instant, but step by step, choice by choice, through love, through gratitude, through the sacred work of homemaking, you can reclaim your home too. So as I stay here, making my cookies, painting my painting from my living room wall, I'm reminded fear does not get the final word. Peace does. Strength does. And your home can whisper that truth too. You are safe. You are loved. And you are strong enough. I want to thank you so much for spending this time with me. If my story encouraged you, I would love for you to subscribe and join this community. Here, we're not chasing perfect homes. We're creating peaceful ones. Together, we're building spaces that remind us every single day you are safe, you are loved, and you are definitely strong enough. And I'll see you in the next one.